I want to give a huge shout out and a thank you to my sponsor, P2 Collectibles, located at 204 East McGalley Road in Muncie and on eBay as well. So next time you're here in Muncie, let us know. Come give us a visit. Hey, what is up, y'all? This is Alex from Plus 2 TCG, and I'm coming at y'all with another deck profile today. We're going to be looking at Altergeist, pretty much pre-multi-faker. If everyone who doesn't know what Altergeist do, they do a lot of cool stuff, but multi-faker really puts the deck over the top because they have essentially a Kieran that we already have, but it's not as utilizable until we get multi-faker. But without further ado, let's just hop right into the deck profile and I'll explain some of my choices. So, playing 3 multi-faker. This card is insane considering all the cards, all the effects that it does. It can attack directly, and then when it inflicts direct damage, you can target a card your opponent controls and send it to the graveyard, which is nuts. And if this card is sent to the grave, or sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add an Altergeist monster from your deck to your hand, and it's a hard one to return the use effect. But that's alright because this card is absolutely insane. It gets you a lot of advantage, so it's a defensive card and an offensive card, an extender, which is pretty cool. Same with Altergeist Marionetter. This card, when it's normal summoned, you can set an Altergeist trap directly from your deck to your spell zones, which it just depends on what you're trying to get. What you don't have, you're usually trying to go for protocol with this card so you can get the negate, or if you already have that, or if you need something in the grave, you can add a manifestation so you can cycle your cards, and then you can target one Altergeist card you control and one Altergeist monster in your graveyard and send that card on the field to the graveyard, and if you do, special summon the other monster from your grave. That's pretty relevant considering that you can summon back your Silkwidis or your Marionetter, or not your Marionetter, your Meluseek, so that you can extend with that. And here is the Kieran, which is not so great now because you have to normal summon it for the most part, but once it gets multi-faker, this is going to be an insane card, arguably the best card in the deck. Quick effect, you can return one other Altergeist card you control to the hand, then target one card your opponent controls, that's the cost. Return it to the hand, so this is a very good card, very reminiscent of Kieran. And if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target one Altergeist trap in your grave and add it to your hand. So this allows a lot of recyclability that the deck really wants to do, especially with all the traps that it has. Being able to recycle them and get your plays going again next turn is great. And then for the hand traps, 3 Ash Blossom, bless the reprints, y'all. Thank you so much. Yugi Gods, everyone now gets to play this card. Very happy about that. 3 Ghost Ogre, and 2 Veiler. You just want to play a lot of hand traps, a lot of traps in this deck so that you can stun your opponent, so that you can lower their ceiling low enough to where you can fit your plays in there, but they can't fit theirs. Onto the spell lineup. 1 for 1. 1 Monster Reborn, the Saki one-ofs. This gets you your Meluseek. You're not going for Effect Veiler, obviously. And then the Monster Reborn for those extender plays later on in the game, or if you feel like, I guess, going like Meluseek, Link Karibo, Monster Reborn, get it back. That's just one of, I guess, the many potentials with Monster Reborn. And then 3 Scapegoat. Moving forward, this card will not be seeing any play once multi-faker is a thing, but until then, this card is very good. You are able to set up boards where you're making, you're setting this turn 1, and then you are making, sorry, use your Skull Dread in the end, or not in the end, the point of this is so that you can make a Sorry Use Your Skull Dread or various other utility Link monsters. That's what makes this card so good. And then 2 Pot of Desires, 2 Cosmic Cyclone for the defensive cards to wrap up the spells. Not playing many of these because we're just trying to stun our opponent with lots and lots of traps. 3 Altergeist Protocol, probably one of the best cards in the deck. This gets you your negation, and then your Altergeist cards can't be negated. 2 Altergeist Manifestation. You don't want to play 3 of these because opening this isn't the greatest, because turn 1 plays, like, ideally you're not drawing into this. Your turn 1 plays are like Marionetter, set this card. So that's what we're playing too. 1 Camouflage. This card it's alright. It allows you to prevent your cards from being destroyed by battle because they can't be attacked. So let's go ahead and read this for those of you who don't know. You target one Altergeist monster you control and equip this card to it. Your opponent cannot target it for attacks, but it does prevent your opponent from attacking you. It doesn't prevent your opponent from attacking you directly. And then you can negate an opponent's monster effect. You can negate an opponent's monster effect that activated by targeting the equipped monster. So I guess this card has some utility. And then its grave effect is probably the most relevant one. If an Altergeist card you control would be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can banish this card from your graveyard instead. So I see this card having a lot more utility in the grave, at least for me it has. You can send it back with your with protocol so that you can reuse it and you don't have to send one of your monsters. But for the most part, its grave effect is the most relevant one. And then the card that's going to be getting really good next format, or once we get Flames of Destruction, this card, Personal Spoofing. It's not searchable, but it does allow your Altergeist engine to really get revved up. So once per turn, you can shuffle one other Altergeist card from your hand or face up from the field to the main deck as cost, and then add one Altergeist monster from your deck to your hand. This card is going to get very good next. I keep saying next format. This card is going to get good once we get Multi-Faker, because we can utilize this card, either activate it and then utilize Multi-Faker's effect, or we can get Multi-Faker in hand so that when we do have traps set, we can activate them and then get Multi-Faker's effect to get Silkwood us out. But until then, all this is getting you is normal summonable monsters, which you can't usually summon, especially since we're playing 3 Anti-Spell Fragrance. So one of the potentials in this deck was playing double summon so that when you do search the card, you can play it, but oftentimes you can't use the double summon because you have Anti-Spell face up, so they kind of conflict with the deck right now. And the cards that you can shuffle back, like Kunkiri, that card honestly just kind of sucks. Yeah, it's a name to shuffle back, but it sucks. And then you're usually just trying to get like the other 3 cards, like Silkwood, Marionetter, or Meluseek. They're all normal summons, and you can't effectively normal summon them that turn after you've already normal summoned. So using this is less relevant, and the fact that you're playing Yugioh, you can like draw into it, and that can help you unbreak your hand. But for the most part, all this is getting you is cards that you can normal summon, and it's not as usable as it will be when you can just add Multi-Faker back so that you can activate a trap and then get your engine going a lot smoother. But until then, this card I think is just a one-of, because I've bricked more times than not where I'm able to just like shuffle stuff back and add Altergeist monster that I can't really use the next the next turn always. So that's why I play 1. Just trying to make a good argument on why this card isn't as good right now, and it will be great once you get Multi-Faker. Anyways, off the soapbox, 3 anti-spell, because this card really slows down the format. Pendulums have trouble with this, and a lot of cards just have trouble with this, plus the Altergeist engine. And then to round up the traps, we are playing 2 Solemns, 1 Warning, and 1 Judgment. No complaints here really. I guess I kind of missed the double summons, but like I said, the anti-spells kind of conflict with that, where I can't always activate them at the ideal times. So I think it's just better to cut them until we get Multi-Faker, and then we don't need to play that kind of crap anyways. On to the extra deck. 2 Hextia. It comes up sometimes, but for the most part, 1 gets you there. Prim Banshee. This isn't coming up a lot. But for those who don't know what Hexia does, let me rewind for a second. It gains attack equal to the original attack of each Altergeist monster it points to, and when a spell or trap card is activated, quick effect, you can tribute 1 Altergeist monster this card points to and negate the activation. And if you do, destroy that card. And if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can add one Altergeist card from your deck to your hand. So it does a lot of stuff, like all the Altergeist stuff. So this is probably the most important one. Prim Banshee came out first and is less important, but if you don't know what it does during the main phase, it's a quick effect. You can tribute another Altergeist monster, special summon one Altergeist monster from your deck to your zone this card points to, and if this card is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target one Altergeist card in your graveyard and add it to your hand. So more cool stuff. And the rest is kind of just to get into your Link generic stuff to help you get into Yugioh, because that's probably the most important card outside of the Altergeist stuff to be making, so that you can draw into your traps and potentially draw into Silkwittis, so that you can special summon it. But one Link Karibo, one Link Spider, these are helping you get to your Yugioh. Underclock Taker if you need it, you don't often do. Proxy Dragon, Akashic Magician. A lot of these like 3 cards you're actually not making a lot, but they have some utility. Decode Talker, generic stuff. Ningirsu for the spot removal. Firewall, which you're honestly not making very often. I think I've made this one time with like an Altergeist pointing at it, the Hextia, and it was alright, I guess. Yugioh, definitely making this card the most. That's really why you play Scapegoat in the deck, so that you can make a Yugioh, draw into your traps, and then let your Altergeist engine just kind of do its thing. Borreload, which it comes up. Topologic Bomber Dragon. You don't make this often, but in theory it's pretty good because of the trap card. Sorry, I'm losing manifestation. Yeah, so you can manifestation into something and then summon it to something, to one of the zones this points to, and then you essentially just have a dark hole for the main monster zones, which can interrupt your opponent quite well. And last but not least, the Baguska. I've made this probably a handful of times in testing, out of the hours and hours in testing I've done with Altergeist, and it comes up for the stall game, I guess, since your ceiling is already low enough, might as well make it a little lower. But this is just here for the utility. The extra deck is pretty wide open because all you're making for the most part is like Hextia, Yugioh. Really, that's all that's like super important to be making, because everything, all this other stuff like the Link Karibo, the Link Spider, Underclock Taker, Proxy Dragon, Akashic, these are all just there for the potential of getting into one of these big poppies here. Yeah, that's Altergeist. Pretty fun deck. Sorry for the long-winded profile. It's just I know not a lot of people know what Altergeist do. And it's a really cool deck, different from all the wombo combo stuff that I'm used to doing. I know I've done a couple of these type of decks in the past, but I am enjoying this deck quite a bit. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below of where this deck is at right now. Let me know if you think I can make any changes to the deck. And this is Alex from +3 TCG, signing out, y'all.